We've taken a look at the games and hardware of the next generation of consoles, but like tires on a sports car, your point of contact with these systems is critical to your experience. At E3 2013, we got a look at the new controller designs that Sony and Microsoft are looking to put in your hands. The PlayStation 4 controller features numerous changes to the classic DualShock design, though the overall layout is largely the same. The handles are longer, textured on the back and farther apart, resulting in a wider and sturdier grip. The redesigned R2 and L2 triggers now feature a slightly concave form factor, as opposed to the widely criticized convex design that's been used in the past. A PlayStation Move light indicator sits in between the shoulder buttons, and some developers are already using it to communicate information to users by manipulating the light's brightness and hue. The most notable feature of the new PlayStation controller may be the multi-touch surface. It's capable of detecting 2 fingers at a time, but most interestingly, the entire surface also acts as a clickable button. Sony's included audio port at the bottom of the controller can be used with either the included mono headset or other third-party products. Gone are the start and select buttons, which have now been replaced with the options button and a dedicated share button that ties into the system's social video functionality. The DualShock 4's 2 analog sticks are slightly farther apart than in the past, and the familiar dome top of each stick is slightly recessed along its edge. Even the directional pad has received a bit of a facelift, featuring a smoother surface compared to previous DualShock iterations and a steeper slope towards the center. Microsoft's Xbox One controller has a few new features of its own, not the least of which are the redesigned directional pad and trigger buttons. The D-pad has been significantly overhauled, moving away from the floating disc of the Xbox 360 to a straightforward cross shape with 8 points of actuation and minute tactile feedback. The analog sticks are very similar to those on the Xbox 360 controller, but are slightly smaller and feature textured ridges along the rim. The triggers have been graced with localized rumble support, providing direct feedback to players' fingers, and Forza Motorsport 5 is already making great use of this feature to mimic engine feedback. The sensitivity is purportedly fine enough that you can actually feel an increase or decrease in RPMs well enough to know when you need to shift into a higher gear or lower gear. All Xbox One controllers will be wireless by default and run on AA batteries, but players will have the option of connecting them to the system through USB should they run out of power. While Xbox 360 controllers turn off after being idle for a few minutes, the Xbox One controller features a reduced power state that will keep the controller synced with the system while disabling non-essential features in order to conserve battery life. Like the DualShock 4, Xbox One controllers will retail for $60 when the system launches this November. Our E3 highlight reels have almost made a comprehensive sweep of E3 2013, but we've got a few more in store for you, so subscribe to GameSpot on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and stay tuned to GameSpot.com for more.